There we go. Good morning, Michael. Can you guys see and hear me okay? I don't know why I struggle every time I do this, but I do. It's part of who I am. I see that Lisa over at Yogi Hollow has her reminder set so that she can come in this morning. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me okay, that you can see me okay before I start telling stories and go silly. Thank you, Michael. Good morning. Good morning. I've got my Wells Blue Bunny coffee mug this morning. I want to talk a little bit about logos this morning. I mean, who wouldn't love to have that mug on your mug, right? Hello, Denise. Good morning. Denise knows about Wells Blue Bunny being from Iowa. Best ice cream ever made over in Lamar's. Good morning. Good morning, Lynette. So the neat thing about Louie, get out of here. The great thing about when we lived over in Sioux City and we were right next to Lamar's where Blue Bunny ice cream is made, we considered moving up there, but we would be known as Lamartians. And I don't know if I could have handled it at that time. Good morning. You've been there, Denise? Have you been to Lamar's or have you actually been to the actual factory where they make the Blue Bunny ice cream? Let me know. Denise is the one who said, Alicia, something's wrong. YouTube is telling me that your live is going to be at 10 o'clock, but it's also saying 3 o'clock. So we were trying to figure out what was going on. So I was glad that she was able to make it in. Both. Love my hair. I just did my hair this week. I figured it needed a fresh dose of color. Thank you very much. Very sassy. And look at my shirt. I kind of match my shirt today. I've got this lovely little cow. Good morning, Joe. And I bought this cow because I thought it was cute. And it has a saying on it on my shirt. And I thought, it could go one of two ways. It could either be a cute saying or it could be a derogatory saying. I don't know which way it is, but I bought it anyways. So, because I like the cow in her bandana. She's cute. It says salty heifer. I don't know if I want to be known as a salty heifer, but it's cute. It's cute. I mean, I might as well get one that says, Petunia Piggy or something with the salty heifer, but I got it because I loved it. Matching bandanas. I did that just for you guys today, just so it would match my salty heifer. So another thing I'm doing, I got my coffee. I hope you all have your coffee. And I told a friend of mine this morning, I said, I always come onto my lives thinking I'm not going to have anything to talk about. And I'm going to be lucky if I pull 15 minutes out of this and then I talk for 2 hours. And how you all put up with me, I don't know. Good morning, Karina from Jamaica. Good morning. You like it, Lynette? You like my little salty heifer? Anyways, I thought while we were talking, I'm going to get started doing a little task while we're talking and while we're sharing and I wanted, see if I can bring the camera down just a little bit where you can still see this mug and see what I'm doing here. I was talking to you last week about how rumors get started about me and how I was doing my bundles of flour for my artisan bread that I make in my little 3 bundle packs, and how my friend and I, Debbie, had taken pictures and like little lines of flour and stuff. And I call this my Iowa nose candy. I'm going to be doing a recipe later today, a new recipe, and I'll be recording it. So be watching for that going up. But I thought, I need to get some bread started too. So I thought while we were sitting here just chit-chatting, I would show you just how easy this bread recipe is. So I've got my bowl. I have 3 cups of flour that are just going to go in there. It's all-purpose flour. You can use wheat flour if you like. It doesn't matter. A little noisy. I pack my bundles good. My tape restuck. Okay, so there I've just got 3 cups of flour in here. And I've got some Redmond salt, this pink Redmond salt, and I'm just going to put 1 teaspoon. This is a quarter, just 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to put 4 of these in here, so it equals a teaspoon. I'm going to throw that in there. Okay, so I'm done with my salt. So flour, 3 cups flour, 1 teaspoon salt, and then I've got my yeast packet here. And you know, a lot of recipes when you make your bread, it calls for an entire packet. Not this one. This one here, if I can get things to just work flawlessly for me, like sometimes they do. Yes, everybody's listening and watching. That's good. We don't need to be interactive yet. We'll have some interactive stuff later. 1/4 teaspoon yeast. Pop it in there. That's all. I can make several loaves of bread just from this one little packet of yeast. That is all you need. I love my little salt container. I have a salt and pepper. My husband bought me one that were like little Dutch ovens, but they were ceramic. And my friend was here visiting, and I moved something and I broke the handle off of one of them. And I was just in tears because I broke it. And I didn't even say anything to my husband, but I was in tears because I had broken these little pinch bowls that he bought for me so lovingly, and picked out the teal color because teal's my thing and everything. And I broke it. And then this and another one showed up in the mail like 2 days later. He just ordered it without even saying anything. He is so good to me. This one's metal, so I don't have to worry about breaking it. And I like that this one's blue with a red lid, and then the other is teal with a yellow lid, and I can mix match the lids and nobody cares. So I have one for salt, one for pepper. Hello, Debbie. Hello, love. So I have 3 cups of nose candy. Debbie's here. Debbie's the one who was packaging the flour with me, and then we sent a picture to her daughter, and her daughter was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" She thought it was cocaine. So we got 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. And that's it. I'm just going to mix these up with my Danish whisk. If you don't have one of these, I'm not being sponsored by any of this. It's just stuff I love. Get a Danish whisk. I love it. And this is another thing where my cousin had said, have you seen one of these yet? I said, have I seen one? I have one and I love it. That's all I said on Facebook. And then like the next week, another one showed up in the mail. Hubby bought me another one. So I'm just going to incorporate my 3 ingredients, and look. 1.5 cups hot water. That's it. That's all my bread has. How simple is that? So I'm just going to mix this up until it forms a dough that is called a shaggy dough. And I have a video for this if you want to see the full video. But really, it's that simple. I'm just going to mix this up until it's incorporated, but I don't have to knead it. I don't have to do anything special. Look, that's it. See how it's kind of shaggy and ucky? That's it. There we go. Put that in the sink. And I'm going to take one of my wax wraps, just put it over the bowl. You guys have seen me talk lovingly about my wax wraps. I love them so much. Better than saran wrap or baggies. Look how good that seals. That's it. I've made bread for dinner. Now we can talk. How fast and easy was that? Ooh, right? Right, Lynette? Tell Debbie, keep them guessing. That's what I do. I keep them guessing. Gets me in a lot of trouble. People spread rumors about me and stuff, but I don't care. Life's too short. So that's it for my bread. And let me tell you about the recipe I'm going to be making today. This year, for the first time here on the farm, I planted cherry tomatoes. Last year I did Roma tomatoes, and I ended up with, maybe 50, 60 pounds of Roma tomatoes that I turned into a sauce. Went through it way too fast. Planted. You can't wait to make some of those wax wraps after we harvest your honey. Michael, do it. They're so great. I've got the tutorial up for you. Make them. Your wife is going to love them. I've been using this one, I don't know, since November. And look at how easy. Look, you can tell this is one of my prototypes. Because right there, I didn't even cut off the wording off of the material. It was just one I was messing with to see how it would work. I've been using that one since like November. It works great. Alicia brings all the crazy. It is always her fault. It's always this salty heifer that brings the life to the party. That is for sure. Hello, Rambling with the Brums. How are you doing, Scott? Is it Scott on here today? Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, cherry tomatoes. We're going to do a mail call in a little bit too. But I have gotten some lovely little Romas that were blushing up, and I was able to bring them in to finish off here in the house. But let me show you this. Look at this. This is just from the last couple days in my tiny little garden that I have on the side of the house. I've got some beans, and that was the basket. I've got beans and cucumbers and all my little cherry tomatoes and jalapenos. But look at these little beauties. Look at all of these little beauties. Look at that. And what am I going to do with them? I don't know, because I've never done cherry tomatoes before. But I have all of these pretty cherry tomatoes. And I mostly did it so that when I make salads, Jim will have some fresh cherry tomatoes on salads. And he says these are the best cherry tomatoes he's ever had. He said they're not like the ones you get in the store. I planted 2 little bushes, and I'm not kidding, they're all the way up to the eave on the summer kitchen. So they're 8, 9, 10 feet tall now. They've been carried up by the green beans. Well, yeah, eat them. I confession, I don't eat tomatoes. I will eat salsa. I love ketchup. I will have my Roma tomatoes when I cut them up and put them on a margarita pizza. But I don't like eating raw tomatoes. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should try one live right here and see if I can get, I have 9 people in here. If I can get 6 people to tell me to eat one live, I will eat one live right now and see how I react to it. See if I like it. Because I've not tried one of these cherry tomatoes yet. I'm just not a big tomato fan, but I love salsa. I love fresh tomatoes in salsa. But if you give me a taco that has tomatoes on it, I'm picking it off. You give me a hamburger with tomatoes on it, I'm taking them off and I give them to my husband. I don't do it. Eat those cherry tomatoes as they are. So you didn't eat raw tomatoes until just a year or 2 ago. Now you love them. I think that might be the difference. Maybe it's the difference of fresh grown tomatoes as opposed to store-bought tomatoes. So there's a try of the cherry. I got 2, I got 3, 4. I was thinking about dehydrating them or doing sun-dried tomatoes, Denise. I have a lot of different ideas, but what I'm going to be doing later today, why I needed my bread that I'm going to be baking in my sun oven. I'll put my sun oven out in a little bit and I'll bake it in my sun oven. If you haven't seen how beautifully the bread bakes up in the sun oven, oh my gosh. I have heard that cherry tomato salsa is very, very good, Lynette. But there was a recipe. I know I'm jumping around, I forgot what I was saying. There's a recipe, I guess, that went viral on TikTok several months ago. And I heard about it first over at Roots and Refuge. She said a lot of people were contacting her and telling her she needed to do this. And I'm not sure if she ever did it, but I heard about it and it just kind of piqued my interest. And Garden State Gardener, he does a seed giveaway, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, how I'm kind of going to feed off of that a little bit. If I ever win on his channel, he does a seed giveaway on Sundays. If you haven't checked out Garden State Gardener, really neat little family. And I keep thinking I'm going to get some of those dwarf tomatoes one of these days, Joe. One of these days, my name is going to come up on your wheel of doom, and I'm going to ask for some dwarf tomatoes. Or do I want sweet peppers now? I don't know, because I'm doing so good with my tomatoes here. Anyways, they don't compare to store-bought. Do I have enough comments on here to try one? I don't know. I'm going to get my water ready. Who knew this was going to turn into a taste test, huh? My husband loves them. He says these little tomatoes that I got off of, that I've grown from a little seedling that I got at our local little store. This is the Sugar Rush or Sugar Bush little cherry tomatoes. And he says they are so sweet and he loves them so much. Okay, you guys ready? This is like asking me to eat lobster or something, because I just don't know. I want to cut it. I want to cut it in half and try it instead of biting into it, because I know that they tend to squirt and do their own thing. And a second here. Let me reach for something. I'm making a mess. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut this. Wait, what? What am I waiting for now, Lynette? The squirt is the best part. See if I can saw it in half with the lid with a flat here. Look at this little beauty. Look at that. I'm not gagging. Did my nostrils flare? That's not bad. I don't know if I've acquired a taste enough to just like go pick them off the vine and pop one in my mouth while I'm harvesting. I'm not sure if I'm there yet. I just had a little bit of a reaction just now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something from my childhood with tomatoes. I don't know. I can handle that. Actually, it almost has like that taste I get in a salsa. If I had some onions and some cilantro and a little bit of jalapeno. Should I do this? Look. Should I alternate? I just had a green bean fall in my lap. Look at my little green beans. I have cucumbers. I have my Kentucky pole beans. I have my jalapenos. I had to harvest the jalapenos because the chickens broke the branches on them. And I've got my tomatoes in my little basket I'll be doing something with. Hey, Daz, don't worry about it. You come back when you can, and I hope you get that figured out. I'm glad you stopped in to say hello. So, but if it tastes a little bit like a salsa, should I like take a bite of a jalapeno and then a bite of a tomato and see how that goes? I'm not going to do it. You want to talk about a nostril flare. If I bit into that, I'm a gringa. Cha-cha can tell you. I don't do heat. Debbie thinks we're going to blame this on her mother, why I don't like raw tomatoes. Her mother, I don't know if her mother put raw tomatoes in my meatloaf, but you know what Debbie did to me when I was a kid with my meatloaf? I got up to get a drink or use the restroom or something when we were having dinner one day when I was staying at her house. I was probably only like 10 years old. She turned over Am I back? This is one of the joys of living out in the middle of nowhere. I lost my internet temporarily. Let me know if it's back on. You know what it is? It's the tomato killed me. That's what happened. Let me know if you can see me. I tried coming back. I'm gonna dance. Yay! I'm back. That's just one of the things about living out here in the middle of nowhere. It's a dodgy connection. I actually said that maybe the tomato actually killed me, and that's what happened. So anyway, so yeah. Debbie says that I did her little abuses to her when we were kids growing up, but she stuffed my meatloaf full of horseradish. It was horrible. So, anyways, I ate half a tomato. Yay, me. Everybody clap. I did it. I did it. So, I've got a couple of stories that I had thought that I wanted to share with you guys today. Okay, Lisa, don't worry, hon. I know you guys are busy during your work day. Let me wipe up all this tomato juice. I know Debbie likes horseradish. She likes it a lot. Let's do a really quick mail call while Debbie is on here. I got something in the mail today, not today, this last week. And I wanted to share it with you because I bought this for my grandson, who now really isn't into Legos as much as he used to be, but I have another grandson coming up who is. And my friend Debbie, who's in the chat right now, Look what she made. She did this book. Notes about my awesome Lego creations. That came in the mail this week. I'm not sponsored or anything. I actually bought this. But look at this. She's got pictures of how to chronicle and write down your Legos. And it has all the information on some of the sets that she's done. But she did this really neat book. And inside, it's got a place where you can put everything you need to know about different Lego sets. If you buy the sets and stuff, it's got places to list if you've got missing parts. It's got resources on where to buy missing parts. So if you have, and it's got a place to put pictures of your stuff. This thing has, and it has a place for you to do your own creations if you want to kind of create your own sets. That's kind of cool. YouTube is buffering. You know, I don't know what's going on. It's got a place to put pictures of the things that you make. Pictures of the things you make. So this came in the mail. I thought this is really, really neat. So I'm proud of her that she made this book. Isn't that cool? So if you have, I'm not promoting her, but I kind of am because she's my friend, but not a paid promotion. But if you have kids or grandkids that love Legos and they are looking for a little Lego book where they can really chronicle some of their stuff, her business on Amazon is our Itty Bitty Business. So these are kind of cool. Really great for Christmas gifts and all kinds of fun stuff. So I thought that was cool. So I'm going to find a grandbaby that's going to utilize that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I got some ideas for some other books for her. Isn't that cool? It is an awesome little book. And I think it's really nice if you've got kids or grandkids that like to build their little Lego things. And then you snap a picture of them with their Lego creation once they're done. And you can put it in the book. And they have everything. Like if they found a picture, somebody has a picture and they're like, oh, that's a really cool Lego set. What did you do? What is that? You've got all your information there. How many pieces are in it? What the name of the set is? Oh, you know what's fun? She's got, where is it? Look at this. She's got little stormtroopers, and that stormtroopers looking at you. Those are the little Lego guys. Isn't that neat? I think she put so much thought into this little book. I love it. So, and then I got something in the mail from Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm. I keep putting the S at the end of it and saying farms, and that's not what it is. Have them look for the book. Notes about my awesome Lego creations, Debbie says. That's where it is on Amazon if you're interested in getting something. And then there's a note in here from Lisa. Oh, look. Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm. Ooh. Sent me a couple of her stickers of Yogi and her farm. Look at that. That's cool. And I'll tell you what, I've been telling Debbie. I think Debbie and I need to get together and we need to make a book for all of our YouTube stickers because people are starting to exchange stickers. And it would be really nice to have a little book to put them in. You heard it here first. She gets to do it. So a little note there from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for sending that. And you know, I've been talking about as soon as I hit 400 subscribers, I was going to do a logo. And so I've been working on a logo. My son's been helping me with the logo. And a couple of you have offered to help me with the logo. I think I'm going to get a few logos and utilize them where I can. Because this is Yogi, and that's cute. I mean, who wouldn't love to see Yogi on a coffee mug, right? So I kind of went that direction. Sent my son a picture of me. And it's actually the one that's on my YouTube channel, you know, where I've got my fist up against my face like this. And he cartoonized it like this little dog is here on Yogi's. She likes to scatter things around the house. My feet and my butt have found more toys than I feel comfortable talking about. Right? Do you girls remember growing up? I know some of you probably aren't as old as I am. But when your dad stepped on a jack, when you would play jacks when you were kids, oh my gosh. The screams coming from the other end of the house, and you just knew you were in trouble because you dropped one of your jacks and your dad stepped on it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I want to know from you guys as far as logos. My son did this logo of me. It's my face. Like I said, I've got my hand, you know, my fist on my face like this. And I said, oh, that looks awful. So he replaced it with a chick. So there's a little chicken and this mug. Would you want to see this mug on a mug if I had merch? Or I'm really thinking, yeah, your dad would throw the jacks away, right? And then you couldn't make it all the way up to 10s. You could only go to 9s and then 8s. And then you'd have to hope that your mother would buy you a new set of jacks. I'm also thinking about doing a logo maybe with a barn with the quilt, the barn quilt that I'm painting on it, and have it say salutations, because I start every video with salutations and welcome to the farm. So I'm thinking I might have a few different availabilities for coffee cups, because I thought it'd be really fun if I had a coffee cup to greet you with in the morning. Like I said, this is a mug that you don't mind seeing on a mug, but do you want to see this mug on a mug? I don't know. Give me some thoughts. Let me know. What do you want to see on a logo on a mug if I were to do some coffee chat mugs with you? I'm thinking a barn with my barn quilt, the mug with the chick. Who knows what? I'm going to come up with a few things and make them available, because that was my goal. When I got to 400, I was going to create a logo. I have no idea how to create a logo. I've had a couple of you offer to help. I still might branch out and use my sons and then a couple there. Oh no, vacuuming up a jack. That would be bad. Debbie Parker likes my mug on a mug. That's because she loves me. We have a love-hate thing, like she loves me and then I push her in a pool during the winter time. I love her. She stuffs my meatloaf with horseradish sauce. Just goes back and forth, back and forth. Davis family, I wouldn't mind your mug on a mug. Thank you. You got your coffee and ready to listen, Blands. Hello. The Greenacre, brand identification. Your face is your brand. Run with it. The pink hair and bandana are a must in the logo. It's you and we love you. Put that mug on a mug. Let me ask you this. I have the bandana. I've got a little baby chick. The hair, though, is not pink. I did have one logo I started off with. It was kind of a Rosie Riveter, kind of a rockabilly chick, but it wasn't my face. And she had the red bandana and red lips. If I do, does anybody know if you go through Teespring and you do merchandise, does it cost more if you have colors? Because I'm sure my son can put some pink in my hair. Stick with the drawing of the lady that you put on all of your videos. That is your branding. I don't know if I can. That is Hilda. I don't know if that's protected by copyright. What I could do is I could write flower on the back of my shirt when I paint my barn quilt and hoist my fat butt up onto a ladder and bend over and have somebody take a picture dressed like Hilda, and then I could make that my brand. But I don't know if I can actually use her because of copyright, but it's a good idea. Am I talking to Eric or Monica today? You would want a mug anyways. Well, I'm working on getting mugs going. So I'm going to have a couple of availabilities, I think. I really like putting the Country Mama Musings on there. And I really think I want to put salutations on there because that's kind of my thing. Everybody, when they start a video, they kind of have their little catchphrase. And I just loved Charlotte's Web growing up. And so I started mine with salutations. That's what Charlotte used to say. And at first my husband's like, why are you saying that word? Well, because I don't know, it's just part of who I am. That book is so ingrained in my childhood and I love that book so much. And I can relate to so many things in that book, to being here at the farm, like the barn cellar. I finally really understood what the barn cellar was and the different areas of a barn. And I have little orb spiders. I have little barn spiders when we had the barn, and I would talk to them and just be in awe of their webs, where before I wouldn't be. And I've got my little pig, and somewhere I've got a video. When I come across this video again, so I can actually download it and convert it and edit it and put it up to YouTube, I do have a video on Facebook of my granddaughter singing to our pig when it was a baby. And it's one of the songs that Fern sings to Whooper. All right, Joe. Hello, Eric. Hilda may be public domain by now. She might be. And then again, is that the branding or is this the branding? I don't know. I might come up with a really favorite one of Hilda and have it say Country Mama Musings. The possibilities are endless, right? So, every time I get in here and talk to you guys, my nose itches. What's the deal with that? What is the deal with that? All cute ideas, says Money Pit. Thank you, Money Pit. we're going to go. We're going to run with it. We're going to do something, even if I only buy a coffee mug for myself. I can say this was something I set out to do. I set a goal and I accomplished it, and I'm going to reward myself with a coffee cup. Why not? And then when I have coffee chat, even if nobody shows up, I'll have a little mug with somebody else's mug on it, besides this adorable little blue rabbit, which I just love. I love him. Okay, so I brought something else up. Oh, I think I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago that I was watching a video, and the video I was watching was a farm that they were deadheading all of their zinnias and getting the seeds from the zinnias. And I was watching it and I said, oh, look at those cute little envelopes that they have to put their seeds in. And sure enough, 2 days later, an envelope shows up. UPS shows up with a big envelope, and I don't open them when they show up because my husband does all the ordering of all kinds of stuff. And he opens it up when he gets home and he hands it to me. And they're, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 little packs of all of these adorable little seed envelopes. Isn't that cute? Wouldn't I love to actually have a stamp with ink to put on here? I'm going to have to look for that. See if I can get somebody on Etsy to make me one where it says, seeds from Country Mama Musing or something, and put what they are and what year they were harvested and all this fun stuff. But I was talking earlier about Garden State Gardener. He does this seed giveaway, and I don't want to step on his toes because it's not the same thing. But I thought, you know what, when we go live here every week, I think I'll do a seed giveaway, and there'll be seeds from the farm. And this year I've got my marigolds have just gone crazy. And the marigolds, if you've seen them in my garden update that I have in the tower garden, they're just thick and lush and huge. Those are all from seeds that I saved from deadheading last year. And it used to be that every year I would go to the nursery and I'd buy little flowers to put in my garden and everything. No more. I'm harvesting the seeds, I'm saving them up over the winter, and then I'm just sprinkling them out in the spring, and I have just tons and tons of marigolds. I'm going to do the same thing with my zinnias. I'm going to start collecting the zinnia, however you want to say it. I know it's tomato. I'm going to be having those seeds. And I thought every week when we do our coffee chat, I'm going to put out a question to you. And it's a question from the prior coffee chat. So you'll know it if you watch the prior coffee chat. And the first person who has the correct answer, and I will have to, scroll through and make sure I get the right one. And I'll have to have everybody be honest and say, oh, so-and-so got it first. I will send them a little packet of seeds. So this week, I'm going to deadhead one of my beautiful, you know what? This is the second time this morning that I cannot remember the name. Marigolds. I'm going to deadhead a marigold, and I'm going to make sure that the seeds are nice and dry. And I'm going to send whoever gets the question right, I'm going to send them a little envelope of marigold seeds from my farm. Isn't that fun? So instead of just getting marigold seeds at the store or buying marigolds next spring, you'll actually have a little piece of my farm come to your farm. And I think that would be a lot of fun. I had somebody send me some heritage hollyhock seeds from their farm. And I just thought, boy, that's the neatest thing. And I got them, they're in their first year. Hopefully next year I'll actually get hollyhocks. So I thought I would do that. Who wants to do that? Okay. Love saving seeds. Greenacre is a favorite hobby. Ooh, the FedEx man's here. What is he bringing me today that I mentioned that my husband's like, ooh, yeah, I'll buy that for my woman. We'll see. Watch it be something really weird. So here is my question for this week. Whoever gets it first gets a envelope of some beautiful marigold seeds, and I will try to mix up the colors so you get some of the yellows and the oranges and some of the variegated. I'll try to mix it up a little bit because I have a few out there that are ready to go. I don't know what they are. I don't know what variety they are, Michael. They are actually, I bought little seedlings last year. I bought little seedlings last year at the store, and I planted a couple of them, And I just did them with my tomatoes because they're a good companion plant. I kind of did it a last minute thing. And they grew so beautifully in my raised garden. I thought, I'm just going to start collecting the seeds. And so I collected like a quart jar of seeds. And then this year I was like, sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And they're everywhere. They grew so well. It's crazy. Get my robe on. No, I get you, Denise. I'm dressed today. I'm wearing Salty Heifer. He left something and he's running away because the dog's outside. Thank you. Give him a wave and he's like, eh. So here's the question. To win seeds this week, Daz is back. I don't know what they are. Maybe when you get them and grow them, you can tell me. I don't know what they are, but they're marigolds and they're beautiful and they're lush and they're coming in. So here we go. Where did I go for my 25th anniversary? If you watched last week, you know where I went for my 25th wedding anniversary. Whoever gets the answer, whichever one pops up first and gets it correct, will be getting a packet of seeds. Wow, 2 came up at the same time. Green Acre just beat you out, Daz. Just beat you out. Yes, I went to Jamaica. Michael at the Green Acre. My email is in my about information. Well, we've been emailing anyways. Email me your address so I can send out your packets this week. And no rambling, but I was born in Vegas. And see, since I've said that, that might pop up in a later video. Just, you know what? I'm not going to hold you accountable for spelling, Michael. You did miss a letter in there, but you're new here, Money Pit. That's okay. Come back every week. I'm going to be doing this every week. And sometimes there'll be zinnia seeds. Sometimes there'll be some of my morning glory seeds. I do have left over from last year, which grew this year, is I have some buttercup squash seeds that are so beautiful. First time you've won anything in a live. Oh, if you guys, if you want to see something funny, go over to the Green Acre, look up his video short for a contest that we're both going into about who has the biggest wood. That's all I'm going to say. Michael, as your wife says, it's not about the girth of your tree, it's about the sap. I assure you, it's not about the girth of my tree, but it's about the nuts. So yes, congratulations to Green Acre. I will send you out some seeds this week. We'll stay in contact. I'll get that address from you. So I thought I would share a couple stories with you this week about anniversaries. And that's why I brought the one up about where did I spend my 25th wedding anniversary. They did hit the same time. You think Debbie says I need to send them to both. Daz, you're so awesome. You're going to get some seeds too. See, I'm not a salty heifer. I'm an awesome, awesome bovine type of a girl. Anyways, the first one I want to share with you is a story that I put in my blog several years ago, just before my son and my daughter-in-law were going to be getting married. Let me take a drink. I can't win seeds anyways. What did Dad say? Am I not allowed to send them to you? Would have passed the win on to the next person anyways. Why can't you win the seeds? Daz, are you not able to get them in the mail if I send them? Am I going to get in trouble with customs? What's the scoop, poop? What's the poop scoop? Donna's not going to go about the nuts. She's going to keep it clean. Little subliminal messages. You got to go check out the video from the Green Acre. It is funny. I don't know why Daz can't get them. Anyways, okay, so it's story time. Everybody's happy it's story time. So I've got 2 stories based on anniversaries. This last week, my son and daughter-in-law had their 9th wedding anniversary, and they did something special. In the middle of me texting him going, oh my God, my computer's not working and I'm supposed to go live and I can't get it to go live. Do you guys remember that? I wasn't going to be able to go live last week because my computer was messing up, and he fixed it, as they were on their way out the door to go celebrate their wedding anniversary. And in my blog, I have a story about just something that really just touched my heart when I was at their shower. They had a co-ed wedding shower, bridal shower, before they got married, and really nice time with her family. And there were some of our my other sons were there, and we just had a really great day celebrating my son and his bride. And it came to the point in the wedding shower where the hostess said she wanted to go around the room and everybody give a little bit of wisdom to the bride and groom to help them. Super strict with biosecurity. Send it to Bland's. Okay, I'll do that, Daz. I'll do that. I didn't bring a pen to write and remind me. So remind me, Bland's, email me. My email is in my about. So, hairball. Sorry, guys. Things are going around and you get the traditional, like short little answers like never go to bed angry. Always kiss me goodnight. Just these little snippets. And I forget what I said. It was one of those little, I know what I said. I said, in a marriage, only one of you are allowed to be crazy at a time. You're not allowed to both be crazy at a time. I have my crazy moments. Jim has his crazy moments. We balance them out. So that was kind of what I shared. But to my left at this shower was a woman who was probably only 10, 20 years older than me, frail. And she was sitting in a little armchair. And you knew she had wisdom, right? And we were all just kind of hanging on what she was going to say. And she shared with us that in the past year, her husband had passed away. And they had had a very long marriage, very successful. You're welcome, Michael. And she started off on this story about the heel. So I want to relay to you the story about the heel. And by the time she was done, we were all in tears and, sucking air, and our little lip was going. And oh my gosh, such a beautiful story. So here's the story about the heel. She shared with us that there was this older man and older woman. They had been married for 60 years. 60 years. What an accomplishment to be married for 60 years. And during that 60 years, without fail, every day at the end of their day, they would sit down and have toast and tea. And he would always prepare the toast, and she would always prepare the tea. Without fail, this was their routine every single night. Now, as you know, when you get into a loaf of bread, and I imagine their bread over the span of 60 years was probably homemade bread. See how it ties into the bread I'm making today? When you have your bread, there's always a heel. Actually, there's two. And every so often, when the husband would make the toast for he and his wife, he would come across a heel. And he would toast the heel, he would butter the heel, and he would toast just a regular slice of bread and butter the regular slice of bread. And he would always put the heel in front of his wife. For 60 years, she never said anything. And one night they had had a particularly trying day. One thing after another went wrong. Who knows what happened in their day? But she was just about at the end of her rope and was a bit emotional. And they sat down to their tea and they sat down to their toast, and in front of her was the heel of the bread. And she'd had enough. And she started to berate him across the table about what a selfish person he had been over the past 60 years. And she was just really sick of him always giving her the heel and keeping the good piece of bread for himself, and how he had done it all throughout their marriage. And she just really thought it was a selfish thing to do, and how she really despised him over those 60 years for that. And as she's berating him across the table, his head sinks, and he takes all of her anger and all of her tongue lashing about how she hates having the heel. And when she's done and she feels so good about finally getting that off of her chest after all of these years, he raises his head and he looks lovingly across her at the table, and he has tears in his eyes. And he says, the heel is my favorite part of a loaf of bread. It's my favorite from the time I was a child. I love the heel. I gave you the heel every time I got a heel because it was my gift to you, because it's my favorite thing. And I denied myself my favorite thing so that you could have it. And of course, then she feels terrible. But you know what? The damage has been done. He's opened his mouth, or she's opened her mouth, and she just has taken 60 years and cut it down to that. And the point that she was making, of course, we're all crying now. We're all crying about this poor man. And now he had shared with her his favorite thing. I mean, imagine at the time that this story was started, it's, back in the day where you don't have much. Obviously, you don't have much. They have their tea and their toast every night. And for 60 years, he had given her his favorite thing, and she didn't see it. And as we're all crying about this story, this woman who had been married for many years and had just lost her husband said, I share this story with you because I want you to realize just how important communication is in a marriage. You can stand the test of time, but if you don't communicate, there are going to be opportunities. Louie, get out of here. There are going to be opportunities for misinterpretations, for misunderstandings. And once that seed takes hold in your heart, it grows until it ruptures. And that woman had made it to that point where she just ruptured with anger and bitterness towards her husband, who was only sharing with her his favorite thing, which was the heel of the bread. Right, Money Pit? Tears. And so all of us were kind of changed at that bridal shower. I know that it kind of changed the way I look at things in my own marriage. And I thought it was such an important message to newlyweds to understand that communication is so key. Make sure that your partner understands where you're coming from with something, how you see things. Just because I see it one way doesn't mean that another person sees it the other way. So the next time you reach into a loaf of bread and you see a heel, take a second to ponder, think about, is there something that's going on in your own relationships where there's a miscommunication, where maybe you need to say, hey, I'm sorry, or I need to clarify this, or did you know I was thinking about things this way or that way? And I've even had, Jim and I have had it, Papa Jim and I have had it. Debbie Parker was here last year when we all of a sudden didn't have water. And I yelled up at the stairs that we didn't have any water. There's no water. And I yelled it because my husband was up in his man cave room and I didn't know if my voice would carry. And I want to make sure he heard me. And when he came downstairs, he was very grumpy towards me. And he very rarely is he grumpy towards me. And I was perplexed. I mean, he was really short with me. And that is not like him. And I questioned him later. I said, why are you so mad at me? He says, you yelled at me. And not only did you yell at me, you yelled at me in front of our guest. And it embarrassed me. And we really had to have a back and forth. And I had to tell him, I didn't yell at you like I was mad at you or I was demanding that you do something or belittling you. I was trying to make my voice carry so you knew that we had an issue. And I really wanted you to know, because if it was something that needed to be addressed right away, like if we had a broken pipe in the basement or something was wrong with the well pump, I wanted to relay to you that it was important. It just took back and forth for us to understand that I now need to make sure that I make the effort to go up the steps and relay to him that there's something going on. And he needs to understand that when I say something in haste like that, it's not because I'm trying to belittle you. It's because I feel that there's an importance on the farm that needs your immediate attention. So we had to go through that. Bye, Karina. Thank you. Rambling just had their 25th this past May. So, hey, Callie, I'm glad that you made it. You're in here with us. That's wonderful. So hi to everybody that I've missed in the chat. So that is my story as we celebrate the 9th anniversary of our son and our daughter-in-law. They've had their ups and downs, but they are a beautiful couple. And so I'm celebrating their 9th anniversary by sharing that story with you from when they had their bridal shower, wedding shower. But the other one I wanted to share with you directly ties in. This is more of a funny one. What did Money Pit do or say that's got me going, ooh, 35. Congrats. Let's see, for weddings, that was our 25th anniversary that we went to Jamaica. We just had our 38th. And this September, we will have been together for 40. And I got one of those things where you put your hands in the mold, you hold hands, put your hand in the mold, and then you pour the plaster of Paris in. So we're going to be doing that on our 40th, and we'll be doing a video for that. Together 14, married 12 with 10 children. You take the cake on the kiddos, Mark. You guys are amazing. Such a blessing, memories of wonderful things. It's so nice to have you in here, Kadesh Farm Homestead. Sis is here in the house. I love it. Okay, so my second anniversary story is why we had the story about Jamaica, the question about Jamaica, because that's where we went for our 25th wedding anniversary. Now, if you remember, and I'm putting myself out here, I may lose some of you because this is where the rumors start, right? I shared with you last week that when you are 18 degrees above the equator, it is ill-advised to snorkel while you're skinny dipping because all of the buoyant parts kind of float to the top and the sun just loves them. And I had gone skinny dipping and snorkeling combined in Jamaica, and I had a floaty underneath my abdomen so I could float and just kind of look at the little fishies and everything, but my backside was up out of the water. Got terribly, terribly burnt. So I was so terribly burnt, it was just near impossible to even wear undergarments when I wasn't skinny dipping. And so I had on this cute little sundress, and I ran around in this sundress, and it was appropriate coverage, and I wasn't worried about not having things that I wasn't supposed to have on because of this terrible burn. And I mean burn. Like, it was bad. It hurt to sit. I was burnt so bad. So at lunchtime at this resort where we were, they would have games every day in the dining hall. And if you went up for lunch and had your lunch, they would always have the MC at the resort would come down into the center. And this is like an elevated, so I can give you all of the details. It's kind of an elevated dining room. And then you step down 2 steps and down onto a dance floor. And behind the dance floor is a stage where their entertainment would, sing and stuff and do comedy routines and everything during dinner. Well, at lunchtime, they would always have these games, and you would win little silver coins when you would participate in the games. And then at the end of your stay, you could turn the coins in for bottles of Jamaican rum. So I want my Jamaican rum. I'm a very competitive individual. So it's like, come on, we got to go to lunch. It's game time. And I need to get some more silver coins so I can get some rum. So we're up at our table, up on the dining thing, and the MC came out, and the MC, and I'm saying this with love, so don't anybody take it in a judgmental way at all. MC, Jamaican native, wonderful, wonderful individual, and they went by the name of Winston Winstina. So sometimes Winston Winstina would wear a dress. Sometimes they would wear just a beautiful suit, but with high heels. Very flamboyant, very fun. Loved Winston Winstina. Just loved. And just one of those personalities that draw you in from the minute you get somewhere, and the details don't matter. You love the individual for who they are, and just what a personality. Loved. So this particular game this day was going to be about Jamaican trivia. And Winston Winstina told this wonderful story about the history of Jamaica. And then at the end, he would ask questions. For instance, what do the colors of the flag mean? And they are gold, black, and green. And I don't remember their representation, but those are the colors. So he would say something like, what does the green represent in our flag? And in order to get the question, in order to be considered to answer the question, you had to run down the steps across the dance floor and sit in a chair where he was standing. So the first person that actually got into the chair could answer the question. If they got the question right, they received a silver coin to turn in for the Jamaican rum. If you didn't get it right, back up to the table. So there were just a handful of people, 10, 20 people for lunch that day. And a lot of people just really weren't interested in playing the game. But there was this girl from New York, and she was in it for the chips too. She really wanted to win some Jamaican rum. So when he would ask a question, both she and I would just beeline it. We would run full sprint down those stairs, across the dance floor, and plop in the chair. And it would get to where we would get there and shove each other out of the way to get to the chair. We were full on elbowing each other and everything. And the chair's not sturdy. It would slide on the dance floor. And so we're pushing and shoving and sitting in the chair and answering our questions and getting our coins. And, when we go back and forth, she'd win one, I'd win one, it'd go back and forth. So we both have a little bit of coin to go towards our Jamaican rum. So we're down to like a couple of the last questions, right? And the MC asks a question, and sure enough, both she and I jump up and we are beelining it for that chair. And we both got to the chair at the same time. And the chair, when I got to it, it slid. And when it slid, I fell forward and hit on my hands and knees, which is embarrassing enough. But I'm wearing this sundress with nothing underneath it. And when I fell, the sundress flipped over and went over my head. And that sunburned bum was pointed directly at everybody in the dining room. And I hit hard, and it took me a while to recover. But I did. I recovered. I landed hard on my hands and knees. I was able to get the dress back over my head, back covering where it needed to be. And I kind of rotated over and I sat on the dance floor and just tried to be as, graceful with it as I could. Everybody's laughing. My husband is mortified. I'm mortified because I kind of knew that I showed everybody my sunburned bum, but I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until I got the report later. But here's the bad part. I'm going to lose some of you on this one. But it's the honest to God's truth. So while I'm sitting there and I'm hurt, my knees are hurt, I'm trying to just really kind of recover myself because I did hurt myself. Because that wood on the dance floor is hard, darn it. And this is a lot to hit the floor. So Winstina comes over to where I've fallen and where I've righted myself. And I'm just sitting there with this cute little look on my face, trying to not be embarrassed. And he's like, "Oh, honey, are you okay?" He's got his microphone so everybody can hear. "Are you okay, baby?" "I'm fine. I'm fine." "I don't know that you are." I said, "I am." And he's looking at me, and then he's looking to the side. And he looks at me, and he looks to the side. And he does that a few times before I realize that he's wanting me to pay attention to what's going on over here to my left. So I look over, and to my mortification, the dance floor's wet. I looked at it, and it dawned on me. And I looked up at Winston, and I said, "That's not mine." And he goes, "Oh, baby, yes, it is. Yes, it." He goes, "You pee-peed on my dance floor." And, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." "Oh, yes, baby, you did." And he took his stiletto, high heel shoe, and he just kind of just barely distributed a little bit of the liquid. "Oh, baby, you pee-peed on my dance floor." When I fell, this tells you how hard I fell. When I fell, I hit so hard that when I fell and my dress flew up over my head, I hit so hard that I peed. It just kind of shot out the back. And he's calling for a wet cleanup on aisle 5. Everybody is in hysterics. And I mean, what more can you do? But I mean, I jumped up and I kind of gave a dismount like you do in the Olympics. And I asked people to give me a 10 because you can only pull that off once in your lifetime. But I pee-peed on Winston's dance floor. Loving my hair, Modest Moon Gazer. Thank you. I try to do this every 6 weeks or so. Just kind of go with a fun color. You may not know that at one time in my life I was completely bald because my oncologist did my hair, and I figure since it's come back, I got that salt and pepper gray hair, and I just got to keep it fun. Good, if my dress would have gotten wet, I could have at least not been incredibly mortified, and I just could have gone back to my room and changed. But then it was from then on, you'll be walking on the beach or you'll go on a tour and somebody will go, aren't you that girl? Aren't you that girl that pee-peed on Winston's dance floor? I saw your butt that day. Bright red, right? So that was one of the stories that I took away from my time in Jamaica was, I will tell you though, I answered the question correctly and I did get a silver coin and I did get enough to get my bottle of Jamaican rum. Sis says, oh mercy. Yes, sis. My life is peppered with oh mercies. Rambling, you got to run. Thank you so much for showing up and spending some time with us. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, Daz, for dropping some links. I appreciate that. So it didn't change the outcome of the rest of the vacation. I still just kind of wore my little sundresses with nothing underneath because the burn was that bad. The flight home was a bit uncomfortable, let me tell you, because I was pretty darn burnt. And we had actually gone to the tanning salon for several weeks before our vacation, knowing that we were probably really going to burn in Jamaica because, I mean, I'm really fair-skinned. Sis can't breathe. Call 911. Hello, Finding Happiness. That was the important thing. Getting the rum was well worth it. It was. It was. I got the rum. I was victorious at the price of everybody seeing my sunburned butt and peeing on the floor in front of everybody at lunch that day. And Winston, he had his eye on me for the rest of our vacation. He's like, I'm watching you. Good times, good times, good times. Let me peek at my bread. It's starting to rise. Shouldn't be peeking at it. So stay tuned. Probably within the next couple days, I'll be putting the video up for what I'm doing with the cherry tomatoes, that I'm baking my bread for, all that fun stuff. I've got lots of videos that I need to edit and get up, but I just can't seem to find the time. And when I tell my husband, he says, what you do today? Oh, I was busy all day long. I just can't get anything done. And then he says, you were on YouTube for 2 hours. You could get so much more done if you just weren't on YouTube for 2 hours. That is probably very true, but I really enjoy my time with you guys. I am cray. Oh, sis, you wouldn't be the first one to lovingly tell me that. Debbie can tell you that. And so I have a lot more stories from Jamaica. So much fun. I've already told Karina I'd love to come back to Jamaica someday. Had such a wonderful time there. But I'll save some of those other stories for another day. I will tell you, I don't know if Along the River Homestead has hopped in here or not. Wanted to make bread today. However, they are working in the bathroom and dust is flying everywhere. You know, if you use this recipe, Donna, just step out on your porch, mix it up real quick, and put some saran wrap on top. You'll be fine. because the next step for this is to just simply turning it out on a floured board, flip it over a couple times. You don't have to knead it. You don't have to do a lot of work with it. You just kind of turn it over so it coats in flour and you get a nice little shape, and you just plop it on some parchment paper and put it in a Dutch oven and stick it in your oven. This is the easiest bread ever. Ever. Daz, don't drive yourself crazy modding. Enjoy talking. You don't have to catch up with everybody. I don't want it to be a chore. I want it to be enjoyable. Yes, sis, Debbie has a gift for you that I sent down. When she came up here to visit me for my birthday, I sent a gift for you. You girls need to get together so you can get your gift. Okay. And Donna, if you haven't seen the bread video, just watch the bread video real quick if you need a tutorial on it. It really is the simplest bread. So beautiful, so delicious. I cannot wait to try it tonight with my little cherry tomato dish that I'm going to be making. And if you weren't here earlier, I have a video for that. I was talking to you guys before about my my vision board, and there's a little girl holding 2 little tomatoes over her eyes. That was my vision board for moving to Iowa. So let's see. I was saying I wasn't sure if paying for link. I know you keep telling me that. I tried sending you seeds. You don't want those. Money probably wouldn't be an issue coming over with securities, right? I've worked a little bit on the barn quilt this week. I didn't do it last week. We had company and it was hot and rainy, and I just wasn't able to make it out there, but I'm able to make it back out. I've worked a little bit. I think 50%, the lower half, the lower 4 feet of the barn quilt is almost completely done. I think I just have one little half square left to do. So it's almost done. I've determined that the gray color that I have in the barn quilt is not dark enough. It just looks like a void space. So I'm going to have to redo the gray squares, but I should be able to do that easy enough. Barn quilts are cool. They are. And I'm really loving the way this one is turning out. It looks beautiful from the house. Looks beautiful from the summer kitchen. You can see it as you drive by, and some of the farmers drive by while I'm up on a ladder or something, and I know they just think I'm crazy because what is that crazy woman doing to the side of that old corn crib? Where I live, and the reason I have my channel called Hobby Farm Living is because this really is a hobby farm. It's not technically a farm the way that the farmers around here farm. We will run into people in town and they'll say, well, where do you live? And I'll say, well, we live at the corner of this. It's the farm on this side of the corner of this and that. Oh, and it's like, they know it's you guys. Like, what? And it's like, we are the joke around here because when we had the donkeys and the goats down in the lower pasture and Papa Jim would come home from work, I'd have lemonade made and we'd get our little frosty mugs of lemonade. And I had wicker chairs. I had like the big wicker queen chairs, and a little side table in the center. And we would just go down there and we would sit in our big wicker chairs and just sit and watch the goats and watch the donkeys. And that was just a really nice, quiet evening entertainment for us. And the farmers here work hard. They work. So for them to drive by in their tractors while they're working and to see these weirdos sitting out in wicker chairs just watching goats and donkeys, they laugh at us. We are a joke. And that's because it's a hobby farm. It's not a true working farm. And we run into people all the time. You're the people that watch your lawn art. You're out there watching that lawn art in those funny chairs. Yep, that's us. So when they drive by and they see me painting that on corn crib, they're probably like, there's so much more that needs to be done on that farm. This needs to be done and that needs to be done and this needs to be done. When I drive by on the farm, I could see that, but she's out there painting the corn crib. Chrissy's here from along the river. I was just sharing about painting that corn crib. So, and welcome, Il Canirum. I know I'm saying it wrong, and everybody always says that Tim says it wrong, and I don't know how to say it right. So I've just started getting back into, after the heat wave and company and everything, getting back out, painting on the barn quilt every morning. But now we have a skunk living out there. A skunk has taken up residence in the corn crib. And so we are trying to find the most humane way to eradicate the skunk so I don't get sprayed. I don't want the dogs getting sprayed. But we also need to humanely eradicate him and relocate him or something, because it's kind of paying a visit to the chicken coop every day. And I'm not aware that it has gotten a hold of any of my chickens. But the fact that I see it leaving that area and lumbering back over to the corn crib every day has me really concerned. But I have a fear now of being up on the ladder and having the skunk come out and kind of just like hold me hostage up on the ladder. So one of my favorite shows, and see how I just jump around. One of my favorite shows is Survivor. Like if I could eat seafood and the weird stuff they eat, I'd love to go on Survivor, but I know I don't have the stamina and things to do things. And every time that Papa Jim and I do something here on the farm, he's like, you got to hold this up. And I hold it. And it's like 10 seconds later, my shoulders are screaming. It's like, I'd never make it on Survivor. I'd always be the first one out, and then I'd be voted off because I can't do the games. So I know, this is my fear, is I'm going to get up on that ladder and I'm going to be precariously perched, and the skunk's going to come out and he's going to say, what's up? And I'm going to be held there until I fall. And then I'm going to get sprayed, and then I'm going to smell like skunk. And what if I hurt myself and have to lay there? What if it doesn't spray me right away? What if I fall and I'm rendered unconscious, and then I wake up and then there's just this skunk butt in my face, and they were just waiting for me to wake up because they know we're on the hunt to trap him. And then he's like, psh, there, take that, country mom. Oh, I don't know what he's going to do. You could barely survive everyday life. Same here. Chrissy, you're not fat. Look at me. I'm a salty heifer. Oh, somebody said something about animal control that I missed. Skunk butt. Hey, Boots and Bounty. We're talking about me being a potential skunk attack victim. Oh, Lord. We've had so many things here on the farm, but this is the first time I've actively seen a skunk. And so Jim's like, I can set the live trap out, but then what do I do once I get it in the live trap? Because if I go to pick up the live trap, it's going to spray me. So if you have any suggestions, we don't want to hurt it. If you have any suggestions for telling our little flower friend to go on, that would be appreciated, because I don't want to hurt it. Love that t-shirt. Bought some brownie. Skunk butt, skunk butt. How far out of town? We're quite a ways out of town. We are very, very rural. I was thinking about covering it too. I think if we can get a tarp and throw it over the live trap and then somehow transport them and then see how we can. But if you cover it, you still have to somehow open it so they can get out again. I don't know. Put a blanket over it. It won't know where to spray. Have a blanket in front of you as you're walking up. Those are good tips. We will let you know how things go with the skunk. I was out here a couple days ago, and I was in the kitchen. I was just getting ready to make dinner, supper. Tell me that. Answer that in the comments below. Where you live geographically, the last meal of the day, do you call it dinner or supper? What do you call it? Put that in there. Money Pit, I am in Iowa. So I was getting ready to make dinner, and I looked outside and I saw this little lumbering running thing running from where my chickens are over to the corn crib. Just this little thing, and you could tell it was black and white. And I thought, I won't shoot it, but I do have a BB gun. So what if I just kind of plink one across the bow, and maybe just like, maybe plink him just a little bit where maybe he'll say, I don't like living here, and I'll move on. And I was just getting ready to grab the BB gun when coming up the driveway, it's like you could hear the cavalry charge. Coming up the driveway was my husband coming home from work, and he just blew down the driveway and straight out to the corn crib, and he's zigging and he's zagging in his vehicle, and he's trying to, I don't know what he was going to do, but I think he thought that I was making the whole skunk thing up, because I told him, I said, we have a skunk. He's like, yeah, okay. And it's like, no, there's a skunk out there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But he finally saw it. And I think he just kind of went into full mode. Hi-ho silver, like the Lone Ranger riding in. And I'm sitting in the kitchen. I'm going, my hero. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Supper or late dinner. Make sure I video it. Let's see. I see somebody talking about hugs. I love me some hugs. Oh, it's Sis talking to Debbie. They're going to get together and get some goodies exchange going on. So in Maryland, it was supper, but in New York, it's dinner. Southern Wisconsin call it both, depending on the mood. West Tennessee, it's supper. Missouri, it's dinner. Interesting how geographically things change. The older fashioned people, I always say supper. To the more modern people, it's dinner. So when we've lived in other parts of the country, it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. But where we live now, it's breakfast, dinner, supper. So dinner is the middle meal. Supper is the end meal. And sometimes we've been here for years and we still don't get out of the habit. We'll say, let's go get some dinner. And people are like, girl, it's 7:30. Dinner was at noon. Oh, supper. And we just keep resorting back and forth. It's fun. Kentucky says dinner more than supper. Central Illinois, and you call it a snack. Rooston Rescue personally hates the word supper. See, Denise lives right here. She's my neighbor. She calls it supper. And I know if I were to be out with her one day and I said something about lunch, she'd say, you mean dinner? And I'd say, no, dinner's at nighttime. And she'd say, no, it's supper. And then we would go back and forth. Lunch is at noon, but here dinner is at noon. It's just so confusing. Personal preference thing. Dinner for lunch. Never heard of that one. I know. It's crazy. It is silly. I'm getting to the point in the broadcast when my back is starting to hurt from my little fall. Do you guys still see? Do you see the neck? Do you see that? That's been over a week since my green beans tried to kill me. I think I had an allergic reaction to the vine. I was out picking green beans the other day and I got that. Twist it. I got that. It's like in the green beans. I didn't get bit, but I think I had an allergic reaction. This is from my Band-Aid. But I think I had an allergic reaction because later in the day I was sitting there and my hand hurt and that skin was blistered, almost like I touched some of that wild parsnips, but that's not what it was. So I don't know. So for this week, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to finally finish the deck. The deck will be done. I've finished, what's that word? Power washing it. I finished power washing it, so it's ready for its last little bit of stain. So I will have completed that task for the summer that I started a while back. I know, right, Michael? I did bush beans last year, and it was nice because they grew so high. But I have that cattle panel trellis, and I wanted the green beans to grow up and over the trellis. So I did the Kentucky bull beans this year. And I was actually out this morning harvesting, and there are like a clump of beautiful beans to be harvested, but they're all the way up at the roof line. Those beans crawled all the way up the twine that I had for the cherry tomatoes, all the way up, and I've got beans up at the roof line. I don't know how I'm going to reach them. Papa Jim's going to have to help me with that. Get yourself, it would be y'all at supper. Better get yourself in here, into the dinner table before I whip your butts. And don't forget to wash y'all's dirty hands. Isn't that right? You come eat or you're not going to get anything at all. So I've harvested the beans that I can. I've made some dilly beans. You see my canning behind me? You see what I did? Look. Dills, hamburger slices, those quarts. There are some sweet pickles whole. And down here I have a whole bunch of dilly beans and more pickle slices. And I have cucumbers coming out of my ears. And whatever the chickens don't get, I'm processing, and we're going to have just pickles for days and days and days. But the bread and butters are so delicious. We broke some of those out for a barbecue this last week when we had company, and oh gosh, the bread and butter pickles turned out so amazingly good. It's so annoying when I take a drink, right? I don't want to be cotton mouth. So I will be working on more things with my garden. I will be making this delicious, delicious dinner tonight with the cherry tomatoes. Cannot wait to try it. It looks so yummy. And I'll have my bread with it. And I'm going to be working on the barn quilt. I do have another little crafty thing that I want to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it yet, but I'll be recording that. But it involves a very old bicycle. I think that's going to be a little fun. Your cukes didn't survive level 10 of Jumanji. Kelly was gone for a while. She had a family situation where her garden was unattended for a while, and she came back and it was just completely Jumanji level 10. It's annoying when I stay hydrated, right? I don't want to get those little crusty things in my mouth. Those things annoy me. It's one of my pet peeves. It's like, wipe the corner of your mouth already. So, but that's what I'll be doing. What are you guys going to be doing? I was watching, it's like I don't even give you a chance to answer. I just jump into something else. Fried cucumbers. I've not tried fried cucumbers. You know how we discussed the tomato thing earlier, guys, and how I only like tomatoes a certain way and I don't really like them raw. I don't eat cucumbers raw either. I'm growing all of these cucumbers, and of course they're the pickling variety, but anytime we go out to dinner somewhere and the little dinner salad comes up, it's like, here are my tomatoes, Papa Jim, and here are my cucumbers, Papa Jim. And so I'm just left with lettuce. And you would think finding happiness, and I didn't bring my name list, so I've forgotten names again already. I'd love to know about these fried cucumbers. Are they breaded fried cucumbers, or are you just frying the cucumbers? I want to know about the cucumbers that you're frying. UPS man is here. Oh, I'm getting lots of visitors today. Everybody but the flower man. And if the flower man shows up, much to his dismay or incredible delight, I am clothed. So for those of you who don't know, I was fresh out of the shower one day and just kind of air drying. And I heard a knock at the door, and the dogs didn't let me know that somebody was here. And that poor flower delivery man was standing at the door knocking on the door. And I had nothing on but a smile. Oh my goodness. Go back to my last post and add Jumanji and crusty stuff around the edge of your mouth. What? Breaded, deep fried cucumbers. Oh, Debbie, what are you getting me into now? About how I'm always into something. I don't know if I could scroll back that far. Depends on how it lets me go. Only you can say skunk butt, burned butts, pea, and heifers in the same live broadcast. And so, yes, now I'm going to add crusty mouth stuff and Jumanji. It is an adventure, isn't it? Gosh darn it. I have a new UPS man, and he doesn't put stuff where I want it to be. Hello, UPS man. I'm going to wave like this. One of these days, I'm going to have to go tackle him and say, hey, stuff goes over here in my summer kitchen. Don't you hate it when you get a really good, trustworthy UPS man or mailman or something, and you develop a rapport with them and they know just how you like stuff done, and then they move on somewhere else and you get somebody else new and then they don't do it right? I have a place in my summer kitchen for all of my deliveries to go, and that's so that A, they're out of the weather, and B, so that the dogs don't get to them, because we had FedEx show up one day with an order from Chewy, and a dog ripped open the box, and we had about $100 worth of doggy treats, just the packages, all over the front yard. The dog had gotten into the box and ate all of the treats. And so hubby and I said, we're going to have to come up with something else. So we're still missing a specialty coffee. Don't know where that went. And then One day they delivered a whole bunch of, my husband visited family and he says, I got the hiccups. My husband visited family and they had all of these really neat little Neutrogena body washes in the bathroom. He's like, they had all these Neutrogenas. They were so cool. I'm going to order them for you. So he ordered all of these Neutrogena body washes in every, different scents and different colors. And says you can just line them up in the shower and you can have whatever you want. Well, I came home and there was this ripped open box and the dog had ripped out all of the body washes and chewed off the little pumps. So, and a couple of them got run over. So there was like body wash squirted everywhere. And so for the other ones, we had to order new pumps. And so I try to tell the guys, this is where the deliveries are. They go into the summer kitchen. And sometimes Papa Jim will come home and goes, I was supposed to get a package today. Did I get a package? This has been recent because now I got a new driver. And I'll say, no, I didn't see anything in the summer kitchen. I have a sign. That says, UPS, FedEx, USPS deliveries. And we had to check 3 vehicles before we found that box in the front seat of a vehicle. And as long as they don't leave them on the porch, though, so that the dogs don't eat them, I'm not complaining. I saw somebody used to be a FedEx driver. Ilkiram used to drive for FedEx. FedEx is actually considered breaking an entry, opening a door. Even if it has a sign saying that that's where your deliveries are out in an outbuilding. If it's my outbuilding, can't they put it in there if I've got a sign saying it? Like if it was a workshop, if I had a business here and it was a workshop, they would open the door and put it in the workshop, wouldn't they? Breaded grill with flour and breadcrumbs. If you do decide the video, I'll show you. Front door sounds like a war zone. You got rescued pups and chickens and a turkey and now a skunk. We do have a woodchuck. Down the road, there's a badger. There is something in the lower pasture where our donkey lives, and it makes the craziest sound. I don't know what it is. It sounds like a pterodactyl or a dinosaur down there in the ditch. And I heard it a couple of times one day, and I said to Papa Jim, I said, do you hear that? That's the scariest thing I've ever heard. And he's like, no, I don't hear it. And so again, I look like I'm crazy. And he finally heard it the other day. He's like, what is that? And it's like, I don't know. Chapacubra or something is living down the ditch. And I heard it again this morning. I don't know what it is. It's not a pheasant making a call. It's not a sound that those crazy raccoons make. I don't know what it is. How much wood could the woodchuck chuck if the woodchuck could chuck wood? I've named him Woody or Chuck. He's very cute. He looks like Punxsutawney Phil. We just kind of let him do his own thing out there. I know that some of my neighbors say that the woodchucks are very destructive, and he can live out there in the corn crib. I don't care that he lives out there. The skunk has me a little bit more worried. Open the door and put it in the workshop if you were there to sign for it. All businesses need a signature. Okay. Kelly's got Jumanji down to level 2. That's good. So we'll see. I mean, things are pretty relaxed here with my delivery guys. I just have to let them know where I want things. There was one time one of my delivery guys in the middle of a torrential downpour took a box that I think it was when my ukulele was delivered. So my ukulele is wood, in this cardboard box, and he wrapped it in a plastic bag and he just left it in the middle of our gravel driveway. I was like, no, put it in a car. This time I don't mind if you put it in a car, put it in the summer kitchen. So they're really good when I let them know where I want things. So this guy's a new guy. I'm just going to have to let them know where things need to go. Money Pit, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're able to make it back again. If you come back next week, I'll have a question and we'll see if you can get some flower seeds. My zinnias are beautiful this year, as are the marigolds. So I want to kind of share some of that love. Chapacubra. They're out here, Michael. I know they are. So Money Pit, thank you for joining us. Somebody said something true about me. Debbie said she could go on and on. It's true. She could go on and on. And some of you are starting to realize it's true. Finding Happiness has a video where they did the fried cucumbers. She'll put that up and then I will check that. That's a good thing. I will be looking for that. Put out something like a pool box or something for them to put your packages in. Yeah, but then I'll go out there and the skunk will be in the box. Oh. I'm trying to get caught up a little bit here. So yes, Money Pit, thank you for stopping by. Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Central Time. I've learned rain or shine, or even if I have a headache, I'm going to do my best to come on and just spend a little time with you guys, tell some stories. They're all true. And let's just keep my attack stories to just being the potential shark attack video, the shark attack victim, and let's not add skunk to it. So we're going to try to do that. It's up, and the fried tomatoes too. It's a hit here at the house for sure. I will check those out. If I haven't seen them yet, I don't think I have. I try to. One thing that I think is really important is go back to the people you subscribe to. I've been trying to catch up and do this, and even though you hit the notification button, if you didn't scroll up and hit all, it's a hit and miss. And so I've been missing some videos. I know that Chrissy just posted a video that I'm going to be watching later about her garden. So if you change that notification where it says all, you'll get some more of those videos. And I've been missing some, but I'm trying to get caught up. So I will look for those. So I was watching a live the other day, and it is this girl that lives in her van. And she has like this little radio studio set up in her van. It says on the air behind her stuff, lots of fun. And boy, she just had a really good time. And she would just make it so interactive with the people that were watching. And I thought, I need to do that every once in a while. Like I need to ask people, what was your very first car? What was the very first car you had? And then she just sits back and she just lets everybody answer. Oh, I bribe with cookies. I bribe with cookies. Yes, catching up is exhausting. You can't get everybody's. I fully understand that. It's just, it's just kind of one of those things where you have to balance your family life and your social life and your YouTube life. There's got to be a balance. You can't catch them all. So I know I feel bad when somebody says, didn't you see that video I posted? And I'm like, no, I didn't see that one. But I saw this one. Or I try to catch them, or I'll say to people, didn't you see my video about that? And they're like, no. Try not to get my feelings hurt and realize it's just because once you subscribe and you start this community and you start finding friends and people that you enjoy talking to, it's very difficult to keep it going and see everything and still find time to edit your own videos. So Michael's trying to catch up. Il Canarim's talking Illinois Canarim, I say ill. I need to take a video of our whole wood challenge thing that we've got. I don't know. Does anybody know why Tim didn't go live last night? I searched and didn't find a live for Ridge Life, hoping that Starla's okay. If anybody has any information on that, that would be great. But guys, we're at an hour and a half. Nobody's told me the first car they had, so we're down to 6. We were up there for a while, but things are tapering off. It's the middle of the workday, and I understand. He had to work. Okay. Thank you, Boots and Bounty. Appreciate that. Okay, good. I was worried that something 2003 Ford Mustang. See, Michael's playing the game. He's telling me what his first car was. For my 40th birthday, hubby got me, see, this will tell my age right here. He got me a 2006 Ford Mustang GT convertible. The color was tungsten gray, and it was gray in the daytime, but as the sun would go down and you'd go under the streetlights, it would turn this really smoky purple. Oh my gosh. And it was used, but my credit at that time was good enough. I could get anything I wanted. I could have gone to another car lot and probably had better financing and just buy something new. But I saw this Mustang under the light at this dealership. And it's like, I've got to have that Mustang. I've wanted a Mustang my whole life. And as soon as they turned the key on that and that engine turned over and I heard the exhaust, that's it. I was sold, had to have it. I loved that car. Loved that car. And that is, Michael, that's exactly why I don't have my Mustang anymore. When we decided to leave California, where it was perfect, I mean, I rolled with that top down. I drove topless all the time in that car. Not topless. I'm talking topless on the car. See, that's how the rumors start. I drove around all the time with the top down on that thing, and I loved it. But I knew moving to Iowa was not, it was just not good for that car. It wasn't going to work. And I knew, especially if I was going to eventually end up on a farm like I wanted, it was not the place for a Mustang GT. So we sold it, and that helped fund our move to move where I really wanted to be. And my dream was to have this little farm. First car, 1982 Monte Carlo. Nice. Nice. 1974 Dodge Dart. When Jim and I first started dating, we had a 1974 Pinto, Ford Pinto. Okay, Donna, thank you for joining. Appreciate you showing up. We'll see you next week, okay? Boots and Bounty, 1976 Chevy Lumina. I don't know if I can picture that in my head right away. I want to say, now see, the Mustang was my favorite car, so I kind of got off on that tangent. The very first car that I personally owned that was my car, not Papa Jim's car and my car, but my car, was a car that my parents arranged for me to go pick up from somebody that they knew. They owed my parents some money or something. They said, hey, instead of the money, why don't you give my daughter this car? So we drove to go see this old couple up in the mountains where we lived. And they had, oh gosh, I don't even know what year it was. My husband would know. It was a 1960 something. And it was a Volkswagen Squareback. Is that how you say it? It was like a little station wagon, but it was a Volkswagen. I think they were called Squarebacks. Somebody let me know if you know what it is. So Michael says, same thing, sold the Mustang and ordered a 2013 Subaru WRX straight from Japan. Had that until I blew it up recently. I have a playlist on that. And now you have a 2019 Chevy Colorado. Topless and dirty is a Jeep saying. I drove topless all the time. I put the top down, and I had I had a 6 CD player in it. And I had all of my best music for just driving around in that car, and I loved it. I had Queen in there. I had Aerosmith. I had Bon Jovi, and I had the Eagles. And I think that was just about it. And I would play those over and over again and just have the top down and drive the mountain roads and stuff. And it didn't matter what side of the road you're on, you're swerving like that guy from Roadhouse. Just thought he owned the place. Just thought I owned the road. And I remember one day I was driving to work and I had the top up because it was early yet in the morning. And I'm driving and I'm just singing Aerosmith. And it's my birthday, so I'm feeling really good. And I'm singing about Janie. She's got something I probably can't say on YouTube. But I'm just singing Aerosmith and I'm having such a good time. And as I'm driving, I'm not swerving, but as I'm driving and I'm enjoying my music and it's my birthday and I'm having a good time, a CHP comes this way. The officer comes this way. So when I see him come up over the hill, I kind of let off the accelerator a little bit because I didn't even know how fast I was going. I just knew I was enjoying myself. And I kind of let up. And gosh darn it, he turned around and he got me. I got a ticket on my birthday driving that GT. And I didn't know. Like if you're driving and you see that there's a police officer and they probably got their radar out, you're going to get it. If you see them in quick enough, maybe you'll be able to let off the accelerator. I thought they had to be like sitting with a radar gun in order to get you for speeding. That was the day I learned that on the front bumper, the front little push bumper of the highway patrol cars, they have a radar. And it works when they're moving. And it works when they're moving even in the opposite direction. So he pulled me over, asked me why I was in such a hurry. And I told him, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just kind of enjoying my day. It's my birthday. It didn't matter. License and registration. So I gave him my license and registration. He said I was doing 72 miles an hour. I don't know how fast I was going, but he wrote me up for a little bit less so it wouldn't hurt so much, but it still hurt. That still was a ticket that hurt. Oh, 1973 and 74 Nova, but that was the third and fourth car. We didn't have a Nova, but my husband backed into a Nova one time. Stephen had a 92 and a 95 Thunderbird. We have a teal 1964 Slug Bug at the moment. It's my wife's second car. I love teal. That's my signature color. I had 4 speeding tickets in the Subaru before I bought a radar detector. It's legal in your state. Haven't had a ticket since. I really do try to go the speed limit. And Debbie can attest to this because Debbie has lived her life in an atmosphere where it's go, 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 go all the time. And it's normal to do 80 on the highway or on the freeway or something. And when she comes here and I'm just kind of like going along at 55 miles an hour, she's like, oh my God, you're driving so slow. I can't stand it. So I try. I've only had 2 speeding tickets in my life. And one was on my birthday, listening to Aerosmith, having a really great day until he gave me that ticket. And the other one was when I was pregnant and I was 2 blocks from home. And I had to pee so bad. That baby had rolled. I was like 8 months pregnant. And that baby had rolled and I had to go so bad. And I was driving and I think I was going 41 in a 25. And while I'm driving, there was a motorcycle cop that was parked behind a van and he walked out and did this. Gave me a ticket. I cried all the way home. And I told him, I said, you can write me a ticket. That's fine. Write me the ticket. I know I was speeding because I was trying to get home. And I mean, it's very obvious I was pregnant. And I said, I'm trying to get home to the bathroom. It wasn't just that I had to pee. It was painful. He laughed at me and I sat there forever. This is a whole story. This whole life is about me peeing my pants. Sat there forever till I peed my pants. Then he laughed at me. And that was the time I peed in my car. It's true. It's true. I couldn't anymore. And that was a Buick LeSabre. It was a pretty little car. Cloth seats. Yeah, that was a mess. So, but right now I've got Dirty Gertie. She is my little, I don't know what year she is, but she's a trailblazer. That's what I drive now. She's the color of dirt, so living on a dirt road, it's fine. She's just my little Dirty Gertie. But a lot of the time I drive my husband's Chevy truck. So they're both 4x4 living out here with the snow and the rain and the muddy roads that are gravel roads. They haven't been too bad this year, but so I drive a little 4x4. So guys, I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to check on my bread and get my bread out in the sun oven. And I'm going to start getting things ready for my dinner tonight. And join me next week. We'll have more stories. I almost brought my LA Marathon medal so I could prove to you guys that I really did run the marathon, walked the marathon, completed the marathon, something like that. You like marking your territory as bad as a dog. Salty heifer. I don't know if they mark territories, but that's what I do. But thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Keep your eye out for some logos to start hitting. I'm going to really see about doing a little bit of research on that Teespring and see about getting some of my stuff up. So if you wanted, you could get a coffee mug and join me for coffee. And eventually I'll be doing things where I'll have giveaways for coffee mugs and stuff like that too. So it's been nice. Thank you all so much for showing up. Until I see you next week, as I always say, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. End broadcast.